Hey, cousins. Check in with me. Listen. I know, right? All right, listen. One, I watched him blow dried it the other day, threw some little quick braids in it, and like today is the day we're going to get back to business, okay? We're going to redo this. However, in the meantime, I had a conversation with a person, right? And we was talking about deal breakers in relationships. Okay, so I don't want you to be misunderstood. We was talking about deal breakers in relationships. And so that individual, it was them, it was me. So them said cheating. Deal breaker. Not tolerating it, not going for it. If you cheat on me, that's it, that's done. I was like, okay, cool, respectfully. Respect it. But as we were talking, I was thinking, how is that the deal breaker when there's things that lead up to cheating? So the lying is not a deal breaker. The gaslighting is not a deal breaker. The manipulation, that's not a deal breaker. The trust issues that you are now conditioning and grooming me into having, that's not a deal breaker. The insecurities that you are now creating within me, that's not a deal breaker. So I was wondering, like, why aren't those deal breakers? Why is it just you cheated? So then I had a question. So then my question was like, okay, so what happens in the conversation of like not knowing your shortcomings, not knowing your lack of confidence? What happens in those instances where, again, not excused, but where cheating to the individual, not necessarily me, but to the individual becomes, well, that was my result. So that person was like, yeah, nah, that's just not acceptable. I was like, cool, respect it, right? Cousins. That whole conversation basically gave me a different point of view of how we as people feel as though this is what we cannot handle, but we took in all of the other parts. So you have the toleration for somebody to lie to you consistently. I'm not here, I'm there. I'm going here, GPS off, location off. You have the capacity to accept the gaslighting. Oh, I don't feel good today. You and your partner can't have nothing together because you're gaslighting them, right? You can handle a lack of attention given to you because that attention is being given somewhere else. So you can handle these things, but you cannot handle the physical resolve of that, which is to cheat. Therefore, it brought me to another conclusion. Emotional maturity is necessary. It's necessary. Okay? It's necessary. Because not emotional stability, because we're all emotional stable to some degree. Okay? No. Not that. Not even emotional intelligence. Because you can be very intelligent and ignorant all at the same time. Like this is. But emotional maturity, yeah, cousins, I'm telling y'all, after this whole conversation, I was sitting there just like, there's a lack of maturity emotionally in a place where you can tell, it's just me. And if you agree. If you don't, I'm okay with that too, right? Because cousins, we're just having a conversation. And so with that conversation, let me give you a little backdrop to that. So the conversation was coming into play because, again, I'm not against being married again. The Lord knows it is my heart's desire to be married again, right? So in conversation, these are conversations. I am very let's put it on the table, kind of have a conversation, right? It's not necessarily if I'm dating anyone, but like, you have to talk to people to determine to date people, right? Okay, anyway. So listen, just having a conversation like, well, what's your deal breaker? Now, for me, that was the least conversation part to my brain, right? So the question was returned to me, like, what's my deal breaker? And I'm like, well, it sure ain't cheating. It's like, why wouldn't that be your deal breaker? I'm like, because why did you cheat in the first place? Like, go down the rabbit hole. Like, you just drop down to level 5, like, oh, you cheated, that's a wrap. No, let's come back up to the top of this conversation. And what happened? When did you feel like you needed to cheat? Why did you decide that whatever we had was not good enough? Why? When did the shift happen? What did I do to cause you to feel as though it was necessary? Like, where's the accountability in the responsibility of the relationship? Again, see, it's emotional maturity for me. And so then, of course, this individual was like, yeah, nah. Cheating is cheating. Make it make sense. Cheating on your taxes is cheating on your taxes, but ain't nobody questioning that when the money come. Cheating is cheating, but ain't nobody distressed when the results come. So I'm sitting there like, well, yeah. But if you cheat on your diet, cheating is cheating because you ain't losing no weight. But not at one point did somebody stop and consider, well, in the situation, neither party stopped and considered, why did you need to cheat on your diet that day? Were you depressed? What was on your mind? Was you emotionally overly stimulated or underly stimulated? Like, these are questions we need to have to determine the result in the first place, not excusing it. So, going back and forth with this person, cousins, y'all, I was going back and forth with this person, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I was like this. What are you talking about? Because, again, I'm not dismissing cheating is bad and not excused, because you ain't got self-control. So then it brought me to self-control, cousins, because I'm like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me you ain't got self-control? And it was like, well, where did that come from? I'm like, because in order to cheat, there is a lack of self-control. Again, going down the lines of where, what, who, when, and why. Why? Like, so anyway, let me stop being dramatic. I'm not being dramatic, but like, cause y'all gotta know, I was pondering upon this conversation on how to bring it to the table, because I was like, I need to bring this conversation to my cousins, because am I the only one that's like, yeah, cheating is bad, but what about the other stuff? Because like verbal abuse is a deal breaker for me. Emotional abuse and manipulation is a deal breaker for me. The lack of prayer and effort to walk with Christ is a deal breaker for me. A smoker and a drinker, no judgment. I've just been delivered. It's a deal breaker for me. Not that I don't have compassion, because like I can understand, like if I choose to talk to you and that's what you do, then like